So I just got out of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and overall it's pretty good. It's not the... I don't know if it's not my favorite of the Jurassic Park movies, but it's not... I wouldn't say it's bad. And I'm sure people much more critical than me will find problems with it. And there are one or two things that sort of, I don't know, I wouldn't say I disliked or really had a problem with, but there were things that sort of were a little I don't know if unexpected is the right word, but I don't know, it's hard not to say anything without going into spoilers. Although if you've seen the trailers, you can roughly guess how the plot of the movie goes, especially if you've seen the last one, which I tried to avoid, because I saw the first trailer, I was sold, I didn't need more. But then they played the second full trailer when I went and saw Solo, and lo and behold, it kind of spoiled me a bit. So, but even there, I still enjoyed it. I will say the trailers don't give away one interesting. I'm not sure it's so much of a plot twist as a detail in the movie, but more on that in spoiler territory. But yeah, music is good. I'd say character was pretty good. And a lot. Well, some characters are better than others. In other words, or kind of what I mean to say is, Blue is the best character in this movie, because they actually go into some detail with her, and actually kind of I'm not sure if develop is the right word. I don't know. It's kind of hard. They kind of develop her, but don't, because as you're given stuff to build more of a connection to her, but then she kind of isn't in, I'd say, about half the movie. Well, kind of is, kind of isn't. It's, again, spoilers. But like overall, yeah, well, I was gonna say overall pretty good, but that would be repeating myself, as I just pretty much did. Yeah, I will say it doesn't necessarily end on a cliffhanger ending, but it does leave on a note where it kind of feels like there will be another one, and it ends in a way where it's like, I am genuinely interested where this will go if they do another one. And because I will say again, I'm sure fans of the original will probably see this and get angry about it. But for me, it's like they take the concept of Jurassic Park and kind of develop it into something bigger, something that really probably, if the genetic science work of Jurassic Park were to happen, would happen in real life. And I would say if you like Jurassic World 1, then you'll enjoy this movie. If you're like super devoted to the originals, or the original, because people who are fans of the original also deny 2 and 3, which supposedly Jurassic World denied 2 and 3, but there's actually a bit in this one that references Lost World. So I'm no longer certain on what the canon air quotes for these movies necessarily is. Yeah, that's my bits on it. my 2 cents on it without going into spoilers. Yeah, again, it's a thing where it's if you're a fan of all the Jurassic Park movies, then yeah, go see this movie. You'll enjoy it. Yeah. Into spoilers. So, kind of the idea a lot of the trailers build up on is the saving the dinosaurs from the island. That sort of happens and is over in the first 30 minutes. How long was this movie? Roughly 2.5 hours. Roughly. Actually, now I think about it, trailers started at 6 and ran for a little bit, so actually it's probably closer to 2 hours. But yeah, that's pretty much done in the first 30 minutes. It's not much really happens. They introduce a new character, Lockwood, who was actually business partners with John Hammond and then they split ways years later, which I thought was an interesting development. And anyway, Lockwood sets up this thing to save the dinosaurs, because the island is going to explode from a volcano. There's a debate going on whether or not they should be saved, or Ian Malcolm returns at the beginning and end of this movie to give his usual bits about chaos and chaos theory and these creatures were here before us. Nature selected them for her extinction, and chaos. Oh, it's chaos theory. Did I mention chaos theory? Actually, to be fair, he doesn't actually. I don't think he actually ever says the word chaos in this. But anyway, Lockwood's assistant, Mills, I believe, he recruits Claire, who in turn recruits Owen in order to help them track Blue, so that they can save her because she's the last of the raptors. But as anyone who saw the second trailer, it was a backstab. It was a lie. Although Lockwood actually had nothing to do with it. It was all Mills. Because money. So that happens. They escape the island on the bad guy by sneaking aboard the bad guy's ship, Indiana Jones style. Blue gets shot. They rescue her, or they heal her, rather. Word escaped me there for a moment. And of course, by this point, we've watched video recordings of Owen with Raptor Squad from when they were her infants. And they're so cute baby Blue and Delta and Charlie and Echo. I want them. So sad that 3 of them died. I want Raptor Squad. They were the best part of Jurassic World 1. And yes, take that to mean what you will about the rest of the characters in Jurassic World. But yeah, from previous movies, Dr. Wu, who is back, Owen's back, Claire's back. That's really everyone who comes back from the first Jurassic World movie. So instead of Lowry and the other girl whose name escapes my mind, and we get I can't remember her name. Had another girl who's a paleobiologist? A paleo veterinarian. in title, not in practice. Yes, and the tech guy, hey, Franklin, that's his name. Who, yeah, I'm not gonna be honest. Franklin is one of the problems I do have with this movie, because he is the stereotype nerd to the extreme. And it's kind of painful at points. But then we also got another character, Maisie, who is Lockwood's granddaughter. Her and to the actress's credit, I thought she did fine. I know. I'll have to look up if she's British or American, because as they're like, she was raised to speak the Queen's English, as they refer to it. But I think she also goes into American at points. I'm not quite sure if that's intentional or not. Not quite sure how intentional that is. My mind just went blank there for a moment. But yeah, and as far as acting, I thought she was pretty good in terms of a child actor. Or like there were moments where he's sad, and I feel like there's definitely some believable. Yeah, I just tripped over my tongue there for a moment. Believability to the sadness. Yes, there are bits of terror, or she acts exactly like a kid who is terrified would be. Now, there's some bits to the later on where she's terrified, but then sort of snaps out of it, and I don't know, that I feel like that's more of a direction issue rather than her acting, because that is the one thing about one of the sequences towards the end, is it sort of goes from kind of action to suspense terror scene to action again. It's like, it's kind of the way it's done, it's kind of a weird, what's the word I'm looking? It's kind of a weird sequence. Not necessarily to say it's unrealistic, but it is sort of odd when you're looking at it on screen. I mean, because it's sort of doing like a slow reveal of the monster, even though the monster already was revealed earlier. It's, I don't know, that was really the only scene in terms of like tone that I kind of had a problem with. But where was I? Alright, so they heal Blue, who they find themselves, the dinosaurs are being taken to a secret basement under Lockwood Estate so they can be sold in auction, so that Mills can fund creating more genetic dinosaur hybrids, including the main villain dinosaur of this movie, the Indoraptor. And also, one thing I will give them credit for, or a lot of people were scared, it's like it's going to be bunch more CGI. There is a fair bit, a lot of CGI, but there is, I think, more animatronic work than I think people were expecting. Or at least the doubters would probably be expecting. And pretty sure most, when Blue is on sort of this makeshift operating table because she gets shot, I'm pretty sure that's an animatronic. At least most of it is. They might have CGI'd over the animatronic for some of the more quick and subtle movements. Hence, like a finger finger toes twitching, and maybe like a vein in her neck that's pulsing. And that might have been CGI'd over the animatronic, but I'm pretty sure most, if not the entire thing, was in an animatronic. I'll have to look at the behind the scenes when the Blu-ray for this comes out to see if that will show anything of how much CGI'd animatronic. There's a pretty decent sequence with a captured T-Rex that is pretty much all animatronic up until like the very end of the sequence when it wakes up and has a bit more active movement to it that the animatronic probably wouldn't allow. What else? Yeah, so that was cool. Although, where was I going to go with that? Although, the Indoraptor, I'm pretty sure, is 100% CGI. There weren't really any scenes in there where I felt like it was an animatronic rather than a CGI, though there might have been one or two sequences where it was CGI and animatronic and they CG'd over it. But yeah, back to the story. Yeah, so Mills is auctioning off the dinosaurs. As Owen and Claire get in, they disrupt the auction, and the Indominus breaks loose because of the stupidity of one of Mills' henchmen. And the Indoraptor starts hunting Maisie, and it's around this point that we learn Maisie is not technically Lockwood's granddaughter. She is a clone of his daughter who died. I hate it. And that action is what apparently drove him and Hammond apart or in separate directions in terms of business. Which I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. John Hammond might have. Yeah, maybe. Questioning whether or not John Hammond would actually have disapproved of that sort of thing, but I mean, I could see it. That there is, definitely a line between bringing back dinosaurs and bringing back your daughter to try and, I guess, kind of replace your daughter. That's a debate for another time. Yeah, and I was not actually expecting that. I was like it does sort of hide who the daughter is, or who the Maisie's mother was. And the first thing that came to my mind was they do a fair number of homages to the first movie in this. So my thought was that it was Lex from Hammond's granddaughter, her from Jurassic Park 1. And that's why they were hiding it. But no, it's revealed that she's a clone. Which does not, some degree of, I imagine some people are going to listen to this and wonder, why in the world did you think it was Lex? Again, it's like, they do a good number of homages to the first movie in this, so I thought maybe that was a connection they were trying to make. Where was I? So they get out. Indominus is chasing Maisie, and that's where the odd tone shift kind of goes, where it goes from action to suspense, terror to action again. Because it chases her up to her room. She, goes in her room, locks the door, or hides under the covers of her bed. Which again, something where it's like, it's not, for me anyway, it doesn't seem that, because she is still a young girl. It's like I could see a kid doing that, but it is sort of an odd tone shift in terms of a movie. But yeah, so terror sequence happens. Owen shows up and saves her. Blue shows up and starts fighting the Indoraptor. Her fight takes them outside to this sort of glass ceiling. And they use this, the Indominus Indoraptor is apparently like genetically coded, I guess is the word for it, to attack a target that's been pinged by a laser pointer, and then attack when a supersonic sound is activated. And so they use that to try and trick the Indoraptor into jumping onto the glass ceiling that breaks under its weight. But it climbs back up, so then Blue shows up behind it, it jumps on it, it sends it crashing through the ceiling and impales it on a Triceratops skull fossil. And thus the day is won. And then all the dinosaurs in the basement are under threat because a toxic gas has released. At least Claire, who originally was all for saving the dinosaurs, actually makes the decision to not save them. I guess sort of as a, maybe fate does want them to die, sort of thing. But Maisie releases them, and because, as she says, they're alive just like I am, because as they're clones of something that was dead, and she's a clone of someone that was dead, or not necessarily is. And it was like, it's like, okay, interesting. Dr. Wu still escapes, so that's one of the things that sort of leads me to believe there will be another movie. There will be more movies. He's after this, and then Mills gets eaten by Rexy the T-Rex, who apparently has very good stealth capabilities in this movie, because she literally just shows up out of nowhere. Because to be fair, she kind of showed up out of nowhere at the end of the first movie, so she has stealth capabilities. Who knew? Something that size. But yeah, and basically movie ends with there are now dinosaurs. Dinosaurs at least in America, because the Lockwood Estate is in Northern California. And Wu escaped with a bunch of dinosaur DNA, so he can create more of them now. And it ends with Ian Malcolm saying, the world is changed now. Dinosaurs are living amongst us. Welcome to Jurassic World. And so that's really the movie. Again, I forgot one detail with regards to Blue, who she does survive. But Owen, she encounters Owen, and he tells her we'll take you somewhere safe. She looks at a cage, and I guess pretty much decides no more cages, and runs off into the forest, and is last seen as the final bit of the movie. He on a cliffside in the desert overlooking a suburban city, or not city, some form of suburbs. Herbs out in the California desert. Again, you know, it's sort of stuff like this where it's like I feel like a lot of fans of the original will not, you know, it's strayed too much from the original intent. It's like I like it. I am very interested in this world that it's sort of developing. I think this is definitely farther. This is definitely expanding more than I kind of thought it would. I'm interested what the next one will bring. If there is a next one. Maybe it just ends here. Or as sort of an open ending thing. But yeah, those were my thoughts on Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom. Whether or not it sounds like something you want to go see, that's up to you. So until next time, see you later. Well, no, not see, because this is audio only. You know what? I'm just gonna stop talking now.